Did you ever wonder how different music notes got their names? For example, did you ever wonder how this note got its name? You could say, well, it looks like an egg, so let's call it an egg note. However, it doesn't really work like that. There's a formula behind it. To understand the formula used to name all of these notes, we have to look at a pizza in a pizza box. This is a whole pizza pie in a pizza box. What I'd like you to think of is the pizza box as a measure of music, and these edges are the bar lines. Notice how the whole pizza takes up the whole box. Therefore, if a whole pizza takes up a whole box, this note right here takes up a whole measure of music in the most common time signature musicians have, 4/4 time. Since this note takes up the whole measure, like the whole pizza took up the whole pizza box, we call this note a whole note. And then all of the other notes get their names based on how much of the measure they fill up, much like how much pizza fills up a pizza box. I'm going to remove half the pizza. We are now left with a whole pizza box, a whole measure, but only half of it is filled with pizza. The note in music that correlates with half of a pizza in a whole pizza box is the half note. Just like the whole note took up all of this space, the half note will only take up half of it, just like our pizza. Now, how much of the pie is left if I remove another quarter? I've gotten rid of 3/4. I'm left with 1/4 of the pie. If I look over at the board, the note that fills up 1/4 of the measure we call a quarter note, and it looks like that. Now you'll notice we have every note named except this one. This is a special note, and I'll show you its name as soon as I show you its concept. I'm going to go back to the half note. You'll notice that the half note takes up half of the measure. The dot adds half of what I have here. I have 2/4 to equal my half, so half of a half is a quarter. So I have this, plus I have to add 1 more quarter. I am left with 3/4 of a pie inside my whole pizza box measure. This note here is a half note with a dot after it, so we call it a dotted half note. It will take up 3/4 of the measure, just like the dotted half pizza slices take up 3/4 of the box. So when I fill in my measure with notes, I could put a whole note here. That takes up all the time from bar line to bar line, or I could put in 2 halves, or I could put in 4/4, or I could use the note that signifies 3/4 of the measure along with the note that signifies 1/4. Now I have written full measures of music, and now you know why notes are named what they're named.